Good. Good about yourself.
Oh man, I've been blessed, man. I've been building, man. Things are going good. I'm
Nice.
definitely glad to see you, man. I just wanted to tap in with you and talk to you for a second.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, what's going on?
All right, so I just want to teach an experience. So there's a guy. I'm not gonna mention him, but he's on TikTok and he has like a little dating show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get on this show and I don't pick anybody because I'm looking for something particular. Remember last time we talked? I told you I was looking for a certain level, and I told you I was very intentional. And every time I told a woman, "Oh, look, I'm trying to get married," and he was like, "Don't do it like that." He was like, "Go in
Yeah.
like you're open to dating,
Right.
and
Right.
then once they show that they have an interest in you, then you can talk about that, right?"
Right. Right.
So I took your advice,
Mm-hmm.
and it was working well.
Okay.
And
Nice.
this young lady reached out to me in my inbox, and she was very forward. She was like, "Oh, I'm interested in you. I saw you on there a few times. You're so intentional." So we get to talking. We talked for like 2 weeks. Everything's going good. We're supposed to be meeting up, but I realized she had a lot of like trauma. Like she was sexually abused as a child.
Oof.
She was a pastor's child. Her mother and father were preachers. So
Right.
as soon as she got to be 21 years old, she ran out into the streets.
Mm.
But she's very established. She has a house. She has a great job. She has new cars. And she's telling me all this great stuff. But I realized she would say like negative things to me. Like,
Mm.
"Oh, well, you sure you want to be with me?" And I was like, "Well, why would you say something like that?" But
Right.
but I just wanted to ask you this question. So I'm looking for a woman, do you think if someone tells me they have like a very troublesome past, like she was with a guy for 8 years. She said, "I was married to a guy for 8 years. He was my husband. I bought him a brand new car. He cheated on me. He used to beat me." Then she
Mm.
had a guy she was with for 2 years. She said she bought this guy a $34,000 motorcycle and a $12,000 four wheeler, and he left her.
Mm.
And it's funny. I went to a car dealership yesterday to buy me a new used car, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in this dealership with my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter. I'm talking to the people. I have her on the phone with me. They're telling me I got to put down $5,000. The vehicle was $12,000. I said I could pay it off real quick. So I didn't have the cash on me. It was at home. So this young lady lives in Delaware. I live in Woodbridge, Virginia. So I call my dad and my stepmother, and I say, "Hey, look, I'm at the dealership. I need $5,000. If you can bring it to me as soon as we buy it, I'll take it to my house. I'll go in my safe. I'll give you the money."
Right. Right.
Why the girl? She said to me, she said, "Why wouldn't you ask me for the $5,000?" I said, "Well, for one, I don't even know you.
Right.
I've been talking to you for 2 weeks." She was like, "I took that as a slap in the face." And I said, "Well, that's strange because for one, you just told me that your ex-husband and your last boyfriend just beat you out of $70,000. Like, do you think I'm gonna, end up just thinking, I've known you for 2 weeks, you think I'm gonna ask you for $5,000? I don't even know what you smell like. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what your house looks like."
Right. Right.
But I just want to ask you, because I'm still going to be out here looking for, a woman that's decent. But when I meet a woman, if she tells me that she has all of this, like, history of, like insanity, do you think I should just be like, "Nah"? Because let me just say this last thing. We got into it last night, and she ended up saying, "Well, I think we should both just apologize to one another." And I said, "Well, I don't know what I would be apologizing for."
Right.
She said, "You know what?" She said, "You know what? I think you're right." She said, "You know what? I thought I was ready to date, but you've shown me that I need to do some more work." And I said, "Well, I didn't show you anything. I just basically kind of was just being myself."
Right.
And do you think that when I find a female, if she tells me she has any type of crazy background, do you think I should just go, "Nah, I ain't interested in this"?
It depends, man. Like, because the background definitely is an important data point, but people can grow from those experiences. What you're really trying to vet for is whether or not they've integrated the experience meaning they like learned the lesson from it, the right lesson, and moved forward. There are some women who probably have her exact same story and they would make perfect partners. Well, great partners, essentially.
Right.
But she obviously has not learned her lesson, like, especially considering telling you all, like, it's a tell when people share those deep traumatic things early on.
Right.
Keep an eye
Right.
on that.
Okay.
It normally means they have a boundary issue of some sort.
Okay.
So they don't know how to pace intimacy. So that's normally a
Right.
red flag when they start opening up very early in the talking phase and just start sharing like their dark past, their dark history. Someone who's more psychologically healthy will like reveal more of that over time, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the first red flag. But then she obviously has to learn her lesson by how she's treating, the money situation, because she's coming from a place where she's over functioning. She thinks that for her to be loved, she must have utility. So she must give value, and the thing that she thinks is most valuable about her is her financial status. So she
Okay.
didn't like the
Yeah.
fact that you didn't ask her because, one, she wants you to be aware that you can, and two, she doesn't feel like the connection will work if you don't. Because like if he doesn't want me
Okay.
for my money, then what would he want me for? Three, whenever somebody is telling you or suggesting that you don't want to be with them, well, not even suggesting that you don't want to be with them, but it's more so like, it's one thing if like you're behaving in a way that would suggest that, and then they're asking you, that's completely normal and different.
Right.
But if the emphasis is on them, if the emphasis is on your behavior, that's one thing. If the emphasis is on like them, like, why would you want to be with me? Get out of there.
Yeah, because that's what it was. She
Yeah.
kept like, and I was like, why are you saying that? Like, why do you? I was like,
It's low
'cause I
self-esteem.
said,
It's just low self-esteem.
right.
They don't believe that you would actually want them, so they question it. And when they question it like that, if you were to treat her well, she would just sabotage the connection.
Okay.
She would just
So I
sabotage it.
guess it's a case by case, and just look for the red flags. Like they're oversharing. They're not allowing me to just work the way I want to work. They're telling me I don't need to do this and I don't need to do that. They should more so be worried about their part of the relationship, not my part, unless I'm doing things that are violating or crossing boundaries. But if I'm just being regular and
It's not even
basic
that.
and
Your behavior didn't impact her at all. Like at any
right,
point in the
it was
connection,
all her.
yeah,
It was all her.
at any point in the connection, even early on, you may do something that impacts the other person. In which case, if it's a reasonable expectation, then you take it seriously, right? This was not a
Right.
reasonable expectation. You're mad at me 'cause I didn't ask you for money. No, that's
Right,
an
and I'm talking
unreasonable
about
expectation.
$20. It's
Right.
like $5,000. I'm
Exactly.
like, I don't even have nobody I could borrow $5,000. My dad and them, but
Right.
I was paying them back within 30 minutes of them giving me the money.
Right.
Like, but okay, but hey, look, man, I appreciate that, man. I'm
Absolutely.
glad to see you back on here, and man, this is an experience, and I do want to thank you because that conversation we had a few months back, nobody in 50 years of my life said something that simple to me, and I was literally every day trying to figure out, like, what am I doing wrong? Because, like, I don't even expect anybody to do anything but treat me with respect.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't disrespect me. Don't, you know what I'm saying, endanger my life. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your hands on me. Other than that, I don't really care what you do because you're not my responsibility, you know?
Right.
I'm just meeting you as another human being. But again, man, I just want to say thank you, sir. It's good to see you, man. God bless you. And I'm definitely going to be tapping in, man. You're definitely a good dude, very intelligent, man.
I appreciate you,
All
bro.
right.
God bless you, man. You take care. Come back.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Starting with a bang. X came back wiser, intentional to move forward, and very cautious. Healed. Do people really change? No, X came back wiser, intentional to move forward. Okay, how much time passed, Candy? How long was the relationship? Somebody else was talking about a marriage, being divorced. He was married for 16 years and got divorced recently. I wouldn't entertain that. I wouldn't take that serious. 16-year marriage and he just got out of it? Nope. He's trying to fill a void. So I would move on to whoever asked that question. For sure. For sure. Is he still dealing with her though? I'm about to get that act. I can take that 5 G's. Absolutely. Thanks, babe. Send a heart emoji back. Let me see if King gonna pop in. King Ty, I think there's something off with your connection, brother. When you improve that, feel free to join again. All right. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How is the easiest way to find a husband in Gothenburg, Sweden?
You said what's the easiest way to find a husband?
Yes.
There is no easy way to find a husband.
But how do you get a boyfriend in 2 weeks?
Why do you want one in 2 weeks?
Because I don't want to be single all summer and I need a person who can be loving and understanding, and I just want a man gang.
All right, well, the vibe right now is going to be a tall order because I don't like you too much. So, best of luck to you. Ugh. Some of these people are cooked. Where the Maz at? I'm telling you, pips are going out. We're sending the pips out. Maz getting a little too comfortable. They're getting a little too lax. They chilling. They're kicking their feet up. There's a job to be done. I know I've seen at least Cece here. They're going to make me turn into the mean CEO. You know what I mean? The CEO, he's nice. Oh, he's nice. I'll be late today. You try to be nice about it. It's like, hey, you think you can show up on time? I'll think about it. You'll think about it. I need to hire like HR. We need an HR mod that we can hire, and I can like send them to the mods. Like, hey, go talk to CC real quick. Go talk to CC. I need you to let her know something. I'm HR already? Word, okay. Yeah, we might make you one. HR mod in the building. Yo. Hello? All right. Again, people, if you have a question pertaining to dating and relationships, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I will bring you up and solve your issue. Any questions pertaining to dating and relationship? I had a manager who used to spam the word pertaining all the fucking time. Every day. Pertaining to. I was like, can you stop saying that shit? It's not as impressive as you think it is. Slim it down a little bit, Jody. You know, we gotta get something fresh in this bitch. Hello. All right. Hey, yo, you at? Shorty at Dollar Tree. What's up, Elise? Do you feel like dating a woman with children is baggage? Yes. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but it is something extra that you probably it's not ideal. Huh? That goes for both ways though, men and women. It's not a gender thing. Am I right to say dates should be at least once a week if the man is in the same country? Same country? Where are you at? What country are you in? When you said country, I'm thinking about the US, but you may be in a smaller country. Depending on the distance, like that changes things, you know? So let's say if you are more than a 2-hour drive away, 2-3 hour drive away, you may not get the once a week. It may be like once every other week. If you're within the same city, I would say once a week is a good expectation, but that also depends upon the schedules of both parties. He said he can only take me on dates every 3 weeks. He lives 2 hours away. What, does that work for you or not? If it doesn't work for you, then just end the connection. Again, if you have a question about dating and relationships, you can request up. Whoever this user 550, do not request again or I will block you. My bad, Danny. Ignore that. I like reject people's like requests and then they'll request immediately again. And I'm like, no, it was, I intentionally took you down. I don't like your bio, so you can't come up either. Don't like that. Nope, it doesn't work for me. Yep, I'm internet. Just wanted to think it out loud. Yeah, that's the right move. That's the right move. If it doesn't work for you, then, you know, get out of there. Okay, let's see if Sabai comes up. Okay. What to do if my husband asks for space and it's been over a week since he stopped talking to me? What was it that he needed space for? Was there like some degree of conflict before he asked for it? All right, user, you can request again. Thank you for explaining your situation in the chat. Didn't know if you were a matchmaking person. I despise those. Boy, do I despise them. Okay. Thoughts on voice memo discourse? It's the most silliest debate I've seen online in quite some time. User, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I have a question. I recently met a guy. He introduced himself to me. We started hanging out. We were spending a lot of time together, talking, texting, and everything was good for about a month or so. And then he started to become very distant, and I recognized those patterns. So I eventually brought it up to him. And he started to explain like he was having financial issues. It was just like the weight of the world was on his shoulder. He just could not navigate those obstacles, I'm assuming. But the thing is, he was having those particular financial issues prior to him introducing himself to me. So he explained that he thought that he could handle talking to someone new with everything that he had going on. And I would have understood that perspective had he been very inconsistent in the beginning, but that was not the case. So he was able to be available and show up in the beginning, but then out of nowhere, he felt that he just could not handle pursuing someone and dealing with everything that he had going on. Right. Now, me, I understood. I'm a very down-to-earth person. I know he worked a 9 to 5. Okay. I didn't put any pressure on him about anything. The only thing that I asked of him was to communicate with me. That's all I asked. I tried to be as open and available to him and show up for him in ways that I would want someone to show up for me. Right. You know, just being encouraging, you know, things like that. But I still just don't understand the distance. Like, how would he pursue me in the beginning, initially anyway, but then his reason for backing back or withdrawing was because he just had so much going on and he just couldn't handle everything. I don't know, I think it was just so unfair to enter into somebody's life the way that he did and then withdraw with the excuse that he gave to me. And even after giving me that particular excuse, as I just explained a few seconds ago, like, I'm still available to him. I didn't dismiss myself from the situation knowing that he had financial issues, because for me, I can work with anything except for cheating, lying, and bad hygiene. Anything else I can work with. Right. And I kind of presented that to him. But I don't know, it was still just one of those situations where he just withdrew, and I don't know. I just feel like I'm left to pick up the pieces, just trying to figure out what the heck happened.
Got you. Okay, how long has it been since y'all been talking?
We started talking in April, so it's been a few months. Okay. But it's been about 2 weeks now since I stopped talking to him. But I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck happened.
Right. How did y'all meet?
Actually, we live in the same apartment building, but initially, when he introduced himself to me, we were in Walmart. I was a familiar face to him.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So, talking since April, when did you notice the pullback or him removing his energy, and in what way did that manifest?
And probably around mid-May, and I just wasn't getting phone calls. He just wasn't. I would call and he wouldn't answer, or he'll take 12 and 13 hours to respond to a message, and that wasn't the case when we first started talking. It was very, very consistent.
Right. Okay. And what was his excuse that he gave?
That he was just having financial issues, and he thought that he could handle pursuing someone, and with everything that he had going on.
Okay. All right.
Which I mean, I get it. Had he been very inconsistent in the beginning, had I noticed the behaviors that I started to notice mid-May in the beginning, we wouldn't have been where we are now, because that wouldn't have worked for me. And then two, you showed me that you had the capability of being present, because you were. So, and like I said, he was having those particular financial issues before he met me.
Gotcha.
So everything that was going on with him now was going on prior to me.
Sure. So the thing is, I always tell people when they ask questions like this to focus on the what, not the why. You're focusing on the why he pulled back, but you're not focusing on the what, which is that he pulled back and hasn't spoken to you for 2 weeks. So the reason why I say that is because when you focus on the what, you just ask yourself the question, is this the behavior that matches my standards? And if not, you must remove yourself. But when you focus on the why,
and that's ultimately what happened.
right? When you focus on the why, you just spend a whole bunch of mental energy trying to figure out what's going on, and that can oftentimes make you more invested in the situation because it's just taking up more mental real estate. It's ultimately not important why he decided to pull back. What's important is that he did decide to pull back. So if he was having those financial difficulties for months and prior to meeting you, and then he was able to be present in the connection while having those issues, and that isn't the excuse. More than likely, there's different variables that can explain why he pulled back. From an attachment style perspective, it could be that he's avoidantly attached, right? If you've been dating for months, that's typically when you experience like a 180 with avoidance, because they only start, that avoidant nature becomes activated as somebody becomes more emotionally significant to you. So normally it takes 2 or 3 months for you to see any kind of change in behavior with them. And when they do pull back, they never say, "Oh, I'm pulling back because I'm avoidant." No, there's always some other reason why. You'll hear like, "Oh, I'm busy. I got a lot going on," that kind of stuff. So again,
those were the very specific excuses that I got from them.
Right. They're normally just justifications. Because like if you were in a financial problem, I can see that impacting you emotionally, and you not having the emotional space to engage with somebody. But obviously, he was able to do that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't your financial issues don't really connect to like you texting back 12 hours later, you know? So again, but none of that matters though. Like me giving you this explanation doesn't like help the situation. It's just the end result is still the end result. Like you said that you haven't closed yourself off to him, so you were basically positioning yourself to still warmly receive him if he was to show back up. So that's what you have to work on your end, which is if somebody is not really showcasing the level of interest in you and are willing to just keep you in limbo for weeks at a time, why do you feel like you deserve that treatment?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I don't know. I found myself just feeling like it was unfair of him to enter into my life knowing that he had everything going on.
I get it.
And I feel like he knew if the real reason was because of his financial issues. He knew the lack of capability that he possessed before pursuing me. So I don't know. I just think it was just a weird situation. And we live in the same building, so I'm always seeing him And that's a bit awkward. I mean, we didn't end on bad terms or anything like that. I didn't want that to be the case, particularly because we live in the same building also.
Right.
And also, that's really just not a way to end things. But I do find it kind of awkward when I do see him. But
Right.
I don't know. I was just trying to see if there was, another perspective on why someone would enter into someone's life knowing that they had XYZ going on.
I mean,
Or
people
had
do that all the
mental
time.
capacity
People do that all the time. Like,
to pursue someone.
yeah, that's a normal occurrence.
It's so selfish, though.
It is, but most people are. They want what they want,
Yeah.
and then, when the shit hits the fan, it's like, I'm in this situation. It's like, but you knew that already. But they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about how it's going to impact you. They just know they want something, so then they pursue it. That's most people. So, you gotta,
Yeah.
just try to cultivate the ability to like read people with a bit more accuracy. Sometimes you can't help it, but when you really start to
Yeah,
put an
'cause
emphasis,
I
go ahead.
I asked very specific questions in the beginning when I first met him about his intentions, what he was looking for, if he was looking for it right now, because I know a lot of people have this idea of a perfect marriage, life, house, picket fence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they want it right now. So even when I'm meeting someone, I'm very intentional with those questions. Are you looking for that right now? And his answer was yes.
That's not how that works.
Yes to those questions.
That's not how that works. The women thing is funny though, because it's like, I don't know. I saw somebody give that advice, some mutual of mine, who's a therapist, and he was like, very smart person, gives very good advice. Kind of disagree with this video that he made. And he was talking about the questions you should ask. Like, ask, does anybody think they're in a relationship with you? And I'm like, y'all don't have the fucking lasso of truth. People have the ability to lie to you. And also, Hannah, one of my moms, made the point that a lot of people don't even have the awareness of what their emotional capacity is. As far as they know, they do, until they learn that they don't. So this question thing, like, that's not to say you don't ask questions, but you're looking for if their words and their behavior align. That's what you're ultimately looking for. You can't approach this with like, oh, this person said this to me, therefore it must be true. No, you're going to be in some bad situations if that's what you think. Because the people who are best at lying are often the worst people to be with. That's just not how people work. Think about like if you had a company, you were hiring employees. People ask for a resume for a reason. They want proof that your history is what you say it is. I'm gonna check these references. I'm gonna validate everything that you're saying. You know how people lie. You go on the job. You probably done it in a job interview, like kind of change the truth a little bit. You know what I mean? Made it seem like you impacted the company to a larger degree than you really did. That's people in dating. Same thing. They put their best foot forward. So, yeah, you gotta take your time with people and really take all of them in and really observe them. Not necessarily look for something, because you don't want to like be looking for red flags, but you should notice them when they occur.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your perspective.
No problem, love. Best of luck to you, all right?
All right, thank you. Take care.
People, if y'all are in a bad situation, if you're confused, your romantic life, you're confused about this domain of love, you should book a 1-hour coaching call where we can go over everything. All you need to do to book a 1-hour coaching call is DM me the word coach, and I'll send you a link. You'll get clarity over your situation so you know exactly what is happening, and more importantly, why it is happening. You'll also get a step-by-step roadmap, so you'll leave the call knowing exactly what to do next in your situation. Okay? Same thing for people who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. Baby, what you laughing for? Alright. I think Buddy dropped. And if you have a question right now on this live, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up. The people that don't. Oh, you were saying, Coach? If you said it in all caps, it would have hit me. I thought you were calling my name and then laughing. Yeah, they do not follow instructions. There was a guy today. I said, how did you learn all this? Experience, God-given anointing and discernment, and a lot of self-education. But there was a guy made a video. And I was like, DM me the word coach. And then he put in the comments, coach. And I said, DM me so I can learn more about your situation. And then he responded to the comment, my comment, telling me more about his situation. And I was like, no, idiot. I need you to message me. Like, message me personally. Appreciate you, bro. I'm glad you're watching. Glad you're watching. Me personally, I go by actions, not words. People will tell you anything to get what they want. It's very true. Yeah, if you had to pick one, pick actions. But words also mean something. That's a little bit more like an advanced skill. When I take these calls, I'm listening to your tonality. I'm listening to what you decided to tell me, what you emphasized, what you're paying attention to. All of those things are data, but I'm just Mr. Pattern Recognition. Not many people are going to have that ability. So if you don't, focusing on behavior is going to be where you should focus your attention. You willing to be my fourth wife? Really? I gotta find the other three first. Shit. Gotta find the other three first. We can find them together. How about you do that? How about you help me find the other three? We'll talk after this show. I believe in show me, not tell me. I'm with you. Incompatibility can lead to rejection. Yeah, that's kind of, yep, that's how it works. That's how that works, for sure. Again, if you have a question, you can hit the button at the bottom of the screen with the blue and pink person. I'll bring you up. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
What can I do for you?
I guess my question is like, how do you teach yourself how to recognize the patterns from somebody? Like, I was friends with somebody for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to turn it into a relationship 2 months ago. And then I realized I missed all these signs about everything about him. And then the relationship ended, like everything, the friendship, everything.
What happened?
There was no intention. Like I wanted him to spend time with me and do things with me, and instead of hanging out with me, he'd go on the boat with his friends and not even invite me or even talk to me about it. Just did his own thing and acted like he was still single. Like I was not even a thought in his mind of spending time with me. And like I realized after that was the same behavior when we were friends, but I don't know how, like, I guess I thought it was going to change if we were in a relationship. I don't know.
And what's the question here?
Like, how do you, I don't know, I stayed single for 8 years. I was single for 8 years, healing from trauma and other stuff that was going on, and I'm trying to figure out, like how do you go into a relationship and not see the worst of everybody? Because I avoid getting into relationships because I see all these signs and I think that they're signs, and then I don't know if they are or not. It's like I don't trust my gut. I don't know how to deal with it or recognize it, or what questions to be asking to figure out how the relationship should work.
Well, don't trust your gut. Trust your logic. So when you say that you were single for 8 years healing, how did you heal?
I did therapy, lots of therapy on myself. I learned to be able to sit with myself and not need to have company and not need to have somebody around, because I realized that I was reliant on other people for my happiness. So I dealt with that and learned to deal with being alone and being happy.
Good.
And not needing somebody there.
Right.
And then it's like I started dating him and I went straight back into that pattern of needing needing him. So I guess it was me. Like, I wanted the attention. I don't know.
Right. Right. What were you doing in your solitude that kind of filled up your cup?
Traveling, spending time with my kids, making money on my career.
Okay. So,
And then I felt like I got all that handled. I had my career, started a company, like everything was going so great. And then we turned our relationship into a relationship and not just a friendship.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, I noticed that things in my life started lacking. I started not paying bills. I started spending more money on him. Like, I felt like I was giving too much to the relationship looking for something.
Spending money on him, meaning what?
Spending gas to give him gas to come and visit me, buying dinners, filling the boat. Basically, I guess, like, saying it out loud, I guess being a sugar mama almost, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything for him.
Right. Your problem is not about like recognizing patterns externally, it's recognizing patterns internally. So you're over functioning in the relationship and you're trying to keep people around based on what you're doing for them. So you solved one piece of the puzzle, which is being okay with your solitude, but then there's another problem to solve once you actually become interested in somebody. Like, you shouldn't have to give someone gas to come see you.
Yeah, and I guess that comes from being single for so long and being a mom. I guess I mother people. That's kind of what it feels like I was doing with him, was mothering him, or like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Buying his affection, I guess. Trying to, like you said, I guess it is. That's what it is. Trying to keep people around that probably don't belong around. But I'm too afraid to let go because of what it could be. What could it be?
Well, you have to like stop with the fantasy projecting as well. So you have to look at reality, not a potential future. So even at the beginning, you said you thought he would change if you went from friendships to more like from friends to lovers type of switch. But that's not how things often work. Yeah, there's going to be changes to the dynamic, but that person doesn't change for real. So you have a couple of issues.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
I
likely.
guess that was kind of what
You have a couple of issues. You're likely anxiously attached. So you did one good thing, like I said, which is like enjoying your solitude. But even as you were enjoying your solitude, like there are some improvements that can be made there. I'll hit on that in a minute. But when you are performing for love, like you put yourself in a situation where people don't choose you for you. They choose you for what you can do for them. Like your average man who has like a man who's operating in good faith is not going to require you to like send him gas money to come see you. He's just not. He'll probably tell you no thank you. You know what I mean? So you have to ground yourself into like, here's what you do. When you find yourself like fantasizing and like going into potential possibility mode, I want you to connect that to something that he has actually done, not said, but done, that makes that a likely scenario. You need to look for evidence. So you got to ground your expectations. If you see evidence of that, then sure, it's fair to think that may occur. Okay? You need to ground it in something specific that you can see that he's done that makes you believe that this is a potential future reality. Right now, you're not doing that.
So I think, and I think that's where, like, I think towards the end, so I'm the one who ended it, and I think towards the end, that's kind of, I guess you're giving me the answer. I did the right thing, because that's kind of what I did. I, like, started looking for, I even told him, like, your words don't match your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not getting the action from you that I need, even though you say you want to do these things. And, like, I told him, I'm tired of asking you for things. You should either just want to do it, and if that's not who you want to be, then that's fine. That's you, and that's the person that you're going to be, but you're going to be that for someone else because that's not what I'm looking for. And so I guess it was just hard to do all that, and I thought, like, oh, I'm making the wrong choices by letting it go because maybe the actions don't meet the words because he's just not there yet. But hearing it from you, like, I think I did make the right decision. I didn't see what I needed to see from him, so letting it go was the right decision.
Exactly, because people do grow, but you don't want to replace potential with trajectory. Potential is like, oh, I can see you becoming this. Trajectory is that person is already moving in that direction. There's evidence they're already moving in that direction. Never look at potential. Always look at trajectory. Because people do grow, they do change, they do become more developed. But again, you want to see evidence of that. Tangible evidence. If there is no tangible evidence, then there is no evidence to suggest that that will occur.
Yeah. And I guess that, like, hearing it from you, like, just based off of what I was saying, that it's an anxious attachment, I think that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't realize that that's my dating style, who I am, but I guess that is, and I need to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably influencing who you're choosing as well, because you said in the friendship dynamic, you also had, he would be the same way. So you chose someone who didn't change up. It's not like he changed up on you. He was always that way, but yet you chose him. Anxiously attached people tend to choose people who are a bit emotionally unavailable because they believe that love has to be earned. They don't think it's freely given. So they choose people who they will have to earn the love of, which are people who are emotionally unavailable. And that creates the experience where they think that everyone of the opposite sex sucks because they keep choosing the same energy in a different vessel.
So I guess that leads me to a question, like, how do you know of a way, like, how can I change that, or is that just how I'm going to be forever?
No, you can change
Like, is it possible to change that behavior?
Absolutely. You have to tell the difference. You have to discern the difference between genuine attraction and attachment activation. So what anxious people tend to do is they'll go after someone who creates a bit of anxiety. But anxiety feels the same way as excitement. So all the anxious person knows is, I feel very strongly about this person. And then if they get with a person who doesn't create that anxiety, they'll interpret that as this person is boring and there's no spark. If you keep following that pattern, that compass that you have that is a little off and distorted, you'll keep choosing the wrong person. Genuine attraction is going to be kind of what you experience with your friends, right? Your friends don't make you anxious, but you look forward to seeing them. You have a good time with them, right? You're genuinely curious about them. That's like genuine attraction. There may be a little bit of like anxiety there, but it's not so profound that you're like, this feels urgent, you know? That's how you learn to tell the difference. Is if I am, another heuristic that you can use, that you can pay attention to. I was talking to a client who, she had 3 relationships. One was a marriage, and the first one was toxic and the last one was toxic, but the one in the middle was actually healthy. And the guy who she was dealing with, when she first met him, she liked him, she enjoyed him. But then over time, she said that she just didn't feel a spark. So whenever you're in a situation where the person you're dealing with, you like them at the beginning and their behavior doesn't change, but the way you feel about them changes, you're actively sabotaging. If they're behaving the exact same way they were in the beginning, where you actually enjoyed the experience, but then you feel like something is missing like months down the road, you're sabotaging. You're trying to find that like anxiety connection. So in those situations, you have to,
So that's like so accurate,
Right.
100% accurate as to what the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So in those
That gave me the
situations,
answer.
yeah, in those situations, you want to lean into the connection and give it more time, and then
Yeah,
you'll
because
settle.
and like what you said resonated and made me realize that that's truly what it is, which is the fact that like I've had a healthy relationship, and I know what a healthy relationship was, but it didn't fill that feeling inside, and that feeling inside that I was looking for was exactly like it was the negativity, I guess. I don't know, like that bad boy personality or that bad boy persona,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not healthy. It doesn't work for me. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the good guy, but I keep drawing myself to the bad guy because it's making me feel a specific way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all it is.
Okay, well that gives me the answer that I need. It tells me that I was right and that is what I will need to work on,
Absolutely.
and that it's not the relationships that are failing. It's the feeling that I'm looking for that I'm not getting that it needs to change.
Absolutely. You got it.
Well, thank you.
No problem, dear. Best luck to you, all right?
Thanks.
All right. Another one saved. Right here, saving souls. Okay. I know I'm in a toxic relationship, but I don't want to lose him. Well, you're going to have to, love, if you want better. Where my fellas at? Fellas, you can request up. This is not for women. This is for everybody. It started off just for men, but as you can see, the women Trojan horsed me. They got a baddie ask me a question one time, and I was like, oh, okay. Yes, what is your question? And then they just started, they just started pouring in. And now it's like, it's overwhelmed me now. I don't have the military might to fight them off, so they've now been assimilated.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, I think I might actually have to sign up for one of your sessions, but I've been actively working on like my anxious attachment style after like seeing the mess it's made in my past like relationships. But I'm at a point where how do you deal with it's kind of like the frustration with yourself of repeating the patterns when you're aware of it, but then also like you're still actively engaging in it. It's like the frustration of like, when you're active, you try your best to self-regulate, and then you try not to engage in behaviors like, for example, like chasing reassurance, but it still happens. And then afterwards you just feel like a lot of shame, a lot of like guilt. I guess like, yeah, like specifically with like my past relationship, like I knew each time to like stop, and it got to the point where like I had to tell my ex to block me, and he did, because every single time I would think I would be getting better and I would feel generally better, it would just like happen all over again.
Mm-hmm. It's because you can't take something away without replacing it with something else. So what behaviors were you engaging in?
I guess like the short form version is I would bring up like a concern, which I knew back then obviously would be like it was from a place of anxiety. My ex would basically, big reaction, be like, I can't do this, I'm overwhelmed, and leave. And then that would cause me to ask for more like conversations about it. And I know that this dynamic is obviously not healthy due to both of us, but it was so hard for me to like actively take myself out of it. Like even with that awareness, I would still do it. And it's like, I'm aware that like I have like my parts in it, obviously like not being able to regulate myself, and that like conversation of the original fight might have not even had to be brought up.
Right.
And I'm also aware that a reaction like that where they just dip out because they don't want to talk about it is also not healthy. But it just like, it's so like, it's almost like autopilot.
Gotcha. So, in this specific situation where he says this is overwhelming me, I'm out. What led up to that reaction?
I mean, basically the same dynamic, but in smaller forms. Like, at first it was us breaking up, and then we got back together, and we still had conflict issues, and then we broke up, and it was like we were trying to reconcile, but leading up to it, it would still be like little increments of moments like this. Like, for me, I would say, like, okay, I feel like I'm over accommodating you in an XYZ situation. He would then get defensive, give me his perspective, which was like valid on both ends. But within that context, he would also be like, well, I can't do this. Like, I don't think we should like have like, let's say the plans that we made, or he would, the last one, he was just like, I don't think we should see each other anymore. And then I wasn't expecting that. And I just, after a couple of days, I was like, can you at least like can we at least talk about it? And then he was like, see, you're still not giving me my space. But I was like, well, you already made a decision. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? And it's just like we're going around in circles.
So you brought up an issue, and then he voiced his concern, but he didn't seem like he was psychologically prepared to have the conversation.
It was more like he usually doesn't vocalize any concerns, and then when I vocalize something, he brings up his, and then we're both just being defensive, and then it leads to a point where he just like dips, and then I'm like, I can't like, you know, like help him like hear his concerns when I'm like bringing up something, and vice versa.
Right. So the issue likely here is you're fighting an uphill battle. So yeah, anxiously attached people need to learn to manage that anxiety, but they need to learn to manage it within the right context. So you don't want to fight an uphill battle, meaning you don't want to be with a person who's going to trigger you to such a degree that it makes it almost impossible for you to manage the anxiety. So like the previous
Yeah,
caller,
that's the addictive cycle. It's like, even though I know this, like it feels like I need this person to heal this part, which it sounds so like, I know it's like not right, but it's so hard to break.
yeah, because you haven't decided to. So it's the same situation the previous caller was in. It's like she's seeking out people who make her feel that anxiety, and then tries to heal the anxiety within that connection, but you're within a connection where it's probably going to be 10 times as harder to do so. So you're likely seeking out avoidantly attached people and then resenting them for being avoidantly attached. And then trying to heal your anxious attachment while being with an avoidant, and that is incredibly hard to do.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. Because you would have to be, like, the thing that you complained about, accommodating, yeah, you would have to do that. So, like, when you have disagreements with someone who's avoidant, right? The way to approach it is you don't spring it up. You don't spring it on them out of nowhere. You let them know you want to talk about something, and then let them know, like, just let you know when they're ready. So they can process independently and then come to you when they're ready. And sometimes they never come to you, in which case you probably have to leave the relationship because they don't have the capacity to even have tough conversations. Others who have a bit higher capacity will need that space as well, and then they'll come back to you when they're prepared for it and know how they feel, and y'all can have a discussion. But when you do let them know that you want to talk about something or you're going to give them space to prepare for it, now you got to manage that anxiety waiting for the conversation to happen. And you're going to resent that because you're going to feel like you're accommodating them, and you are. But that's what will be required in this dynamic.
That makes sense. I guess just my baseline question then is, how do you like work on getting to a point where you can make that decision for yourself?
Make what decision?
Because I think I try, but it is a very hard, it's like fighting against like the way that everything that I want to do.
Make the decision not to be with this person?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you have to decide. Deciding is the easy part. You haven't even decided yet. So the easy part is being like, I'm not going to be with this person. The hard part is the emotional withdrawal. That's the
Yes,
hard part.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just feeling the bad feelings doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. Like if you stop like doing drugs or being an alcoholic, you're gonna feel terrible for a little while. That's not bad though. That's just the process. So you have to just be able to tolerate that. You make it a little easier on yourself if you remove all evidence of their existence. You pretend like they died and you have buried them. So there's no social media, there's no pictures, there's no looking at old messages. Their existence has been wiped out. Pretend like the FBI is coming to check your software, see what you're up to, and you've been up to no good, and you delete everything. That's the energy.
So maybe I guess it was a good thing that I made them or told them to block me, and they did.
But why could you not block them? I get it. That's under your control. But yeah, I mean, you want to build the system. There's nothing wrong with telling them to block you. You do want to build the system to where the environment influences your behavior, which you just intuited by telling them to block you. So, okay, block me so I can't reach out to you. That's good. But you got to like get through the bad feelings. You're just withdrawals. You just have to tolerate that and feel it, not distract yourself from it, literally feel it. The real big thing that people can't do is they can't tolerate bad feelings. That's the capacity that people have to grow. Beyond attachment styles, this is just in general. People can't handle feeling things that don't feel good. And you can probably reduce every problem that they have to that one variable. They can't do it. They can't make more money. They don't want to learn more skills. They can't lose weight because they don't want to go to the gym or eat a healthy diet, right? They just can't tolerate feeling things that are unpleasant. But if you can build the capacity to do that, this stuff becomes a lot easier. And it also is the route to healing the attachment as well. Because ultimately, to actually heal the anxious attachment, it is a willingness to feel that anxiety and not feel like it is a problem to be solved. Because even if you work to earn security, you're still going to feel the anxiety. I've worked to earn security. I still feel anxious. But earn security just means that you behave like a secure person. It doesn't mean your internal environment matches that of a secure person. No, if you're an anxiously attached person, make peace with it. Like, you're going to feel some anxiety. It may decrease in intensity to a degree, but you're still going to feel that way.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, dear. Best of luck to you. But that is the truth, though. Y'all have to cultivate the ability to feel unpleasant feelings and be willing to do so. You have to. That's a life skill. Okay. That's what I'm working on now. Right. I mean, it's hard, but you gotta do it anyway. So you might as well practice now. That's why like people like David Goggins say to do something hard every day, because you condition yourself to doing hard things and not being a slave to your feelings. Like, there's something I even work on now. Like, oh, I don't feel like doing X. Well, who says I'm supposed to feel like doing something? Have I decided to do it or not? Well, I don't feel like going to the gym. What does that have to do with it? Go. Did you say you were going to go? Can you go? Well, then you should go. Your feelings have nothing to do with it. Have nothing to do with it. Feelings are information. They're information. So know what it's communicating to you, but don't let it sit on the throne. Do not let it sit on the throne. Hello.
Yo, hello.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, you?
Good. What can I do for you?
I wanted to ask, on your opinion on what do you think is the best time to start dating?
Okay.
And what do you think a man should have before dating or like getting into a relationship?
Okay. How old are you?
20.
20. Okay. Um, I don't really think there's no best time, man. Like it depends on what you want. Do you want to like date or you want in a relationship? Like, what's your motivation?
Uh, Not really. There's not really a want,
Okay.
but it's just like, you know, knowing the option, knowing to get married in the future and all that. Before, for me, it used to be like, hey, I shouldn't date because I don't have this or I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I think I have the things I would need, you know, I'm not sure like when to start.
Okay. What did you think you needed first? What were the prerequisites in your mind?
I think to be like a father figure, for example, not saying that I would be a father now, but just overall, I think you need to have a source of income that's unreliable to like if you get fired today or tomorrow. I think you need to be a decent person with morals, and at the time, I don't think I had either.
Okay. I would agree with that. Because you have to be able to take care of yourself and you have to be able to afford dates. So the financial
Yeah.
variable is valid. The moral character thing as well. That's because you want to treat people well and not like damage people and then have that spread,
Yeah.
right? I would agree with that. So you basically like listed out the basics. I would agree with your list, actually. But yeah, I would say you have the proper foundation to go out there and start meeting people for sure.
Do you think there's a certain way of approaching people, or like, I don't want to say categorizing people,
Mm-hmm.
because I'd say, especially my generation,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a bunch of materialistic people,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's people who are like acting like they're not materialistic, but they are,
Right.
and then there's normal people. Like, how do you differentiate from all the people? Because I was talking to a girl recently, not recently, honestly, probably like 2 years ago, and you had this like I had this experience where, looking back, I kind of just wasted my time because I didn't notice the things that I would have otherwise if I was dating in my youth.
Gotcha. I wouldn't use the frame wasting your time because there was something that you were able to extract out of that experience. Because now you know what kind of situations to avoid. As long as you learn
Yeah.
something, no time was wasted. So, are you asking how to judge this like at the outset, like upon the first conversation, or in general?
Just in general, like how to have like that third person perspective that you have in the future,
Okay.
but how to have it like now. So you can like analyze all the conversations and all that stuff.
Gotcha. You don't want to be too in your head, brother. Like, to get to know somebody, you have to spend time with them. And humans
Yeah.
we're very complicated. We're simple but complicated simultaneously. So for you to know a person, it will require you to spend time with them. And if you're coming from the frame where you're like analyzing them, that's just going to kill the vibe and the connection. Because in order to enjoy the
Yeah.
connection and build upon chemistry, you can't be like analyzing them too heavily. Because it will be you're in your head, but vibing comes from you being in the present moment. Okay? But I will give you this gem that you can take with you. What I tend to do is look at clusters of behavior and then map them to character traits. Because once you know somebody's character, you know their future. Because character is destiny. A liar will lie, a cheater will cheat. It's predictable once you have locked on to the fact that that's their character. Okay? Now, you don't want to look at like just one behavior and then try to map behavior, character to that, because it could be a one-off or a contextual explanation as to why that's occurring. You want a pattern. You either want a cluster of behaviors that in the aggregate map to this character trait, or you want a pattern of the same behavior that maps to a character trait. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And you only can get that data over time. But the character piece is going to be important because a lot of people just focus on what the person is doing, but they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see the bigger picture. Once you can see the character, it's like, okay, now I can anticipate what's going to happen with you. You notice the person doesn't take accountability for things. Every time they tell you something, they never say like, oh, I can see that person's side. It's always them they're being the victim, and you notice that pattern. It's like, oh, you don't take accountability. So being with you, you're going to just be the victim every single time. That means every argument is going to be my fault. Every point of conflict is going to be my fault. Like, now I can predict how connecting with you is going to play out. Do I want to deal with that? No? Okay, well then I must see my way out.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah, just one last question then.
Sure.
What would you say is like mistakes you made that you'd give like warnings so people heed it?
I will say I've kind of always been this way, bro. Like, in terms of anyone I've dealt with, even if it hasn't worked, they were like good faith people, where they act in good faith. They do not act in bad faith. So I don't have any like traumatic stories to share, because the people I deal with have only acted in good faith, even if we weren't compatible. I would say the mistake that I made in relationships was over functioning, because I come from anxious attachment. So like, I was wired to think that it was all on me to maintain the connection, and that just doesn't, it's not sustainable. So that's a core mistake that I made. As a man, a core mistake that I made was not staying on my edge. There's a good book called The Way of the Superior Man, and he talks about like the differences between masculinity and femininity. Both men and women have masculinity and femininity, by the way, according to this author. And he told men to always stay on their edge, because part of growing in your masculinity is being able to take on more responsibility. As you take on more responsibility, you become more capable. The more capable that you are, the better judgment you have, and the better leader you can be. And some guys have seasons of being on their edge, but then others or just live life that way. I was more of a seasonality person who lived on my edge. So I would do hard things, I would do challenging things, but then I would have seasons where I like kick back and chill.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be the same too.
Right. And there's always
whether
an
it was
edge.
like intentional or not.
Exactly. And there's always an edge. And your edge is going to constantly change. Because as you live on your edge and you do the thing that you're afraid to do, you eventually integrate that fear and integrate that experience, and now it's not your edge anymore. So now you have to find a new one, and you go and explore that. My most recent one was growing this business. It was very difficult, because I tend to not be consistent, because I have ADHD, and this business requires me to be consistent. But now being consistent with this business is easy. It's not hard at all. It was challenging for a while. And then having to deal with the emotional volatility that comes with like income being like this in the early phases of the business. It's hard to tolerate as well. But, made it through that. So that's another piece of game that I would give you. If you can learn that at age 20, you'll be unstoppable. Because most guys, especially in your generation, they would like turn their nose up to what I just said. Why should I have to do that?
Yeah, I had a bunch of those, like, especially with what you said too. Mm-hmm. Like, your experiences are sort of like mine. Like, I had, I mainly started in like stocks and crypto. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what I did was extremely volatile.
Right.
And there was days you make a lot, and there's days you lose it all and have to start all over again. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like going into business, and I'm noticing that like my ADHD is killing me sometimes when I should be focusing and I can't.
Right.
And I do see what you mean here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you stay on it, because the situation doesn't change, you change. Like, you start off as hard, and it's still hard, but your relationship to hard changes.
I see what you mean. Well, yeah, thank you. Don't want to waste too much of your time.
No problem, brother. Good questions. Wish you the best, all right?
You as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has a bright future. When I tell you, sometimes, like, when I put my content out, especially if it's anything pertaining to masculinity, like the young bulls, they not rocking with that shit. Why I gotta do all this? It's like, bro, I'm trying to listen to me. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to put you on game. You're gonna learn this lesson eventually, hopefully, or you're gonna pay the price. What my favorite quotes is like, if you do things the easy way, you'll have a hard life. If you do things the hard way, you'll have an easy life. So just embrace difficulty. and that makes things a bit more easier for you. What was the book called? The Way of the Superior Man by David Data. I read that like once per year. It's a really good book. Phenomenal for relationships. Mark, were you a programmer or in tech before? No, I was a marketing strategist before I did this. I was in tech sales briefly. This is my first time encountering this channel. What mostly do you teach? Building attraction or screening for women on your program? So, or you mean the course? If you're referring to the course is everything from meeting the woman initially to maintaining a happy, healthy relationship. Because guys are at different parts of that process. Some can't say hello to a woman. Some are, having difficulty with their girlfriend and feel like they're losing her attraction, everything in between. So the course covers all of that, but it also helps you to grow psychologically as a man in the process. So you don't become that clown who is trying to just entertain women all day. It's like, my philosophy when it comes to attraction is you beautify your life, become a better person, become self-actualized, and then women or a woman is just a positive byproduct. But nothing I tell men to do is just to get a woman. It is to improve them, and then in the process of improving themselves, they just become more attractive. All right. You got bad news, love? Talk to me. What I teach in general, everything I just said, same thing. Same thing. You'll find if those videos on my page, it kind of operates from that same general principle I just told you. What's going on, love?
Not much, not much. How are you?
I'm good. There's a shift in your energy. I don't like what I'm hearing. Drop it on me. Drop it on me. What happened?
Wait. Okay. Look, so tell me why. Yesterday, I'm at work, right?
Right.
And you remember me? Voice crack, my bad. You remember me though, right?
Of course.
Remember the whole situation?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, I'm losing my voice. Wait, let me drink some water. Hold on. Okay, so I get a message like probably an hour before I get off of work. And he was like, hey, me and some people are going out. You want to go out with us? And I was like, shoot, okay, when? Let me know, because I got to go home, change, shower, whatever. He's like, don't even worry about it. I'll pick you up. Let me know when you're ready. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he picks me up. He's like, oh, just let you know my friend's going to be there. I'm like, all right, bet. No problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the car. His friend is someone that I know.
Yeah.
Like, we never talked or nothing. It's just like, I think we worked like an old job before.
Uh-huh.
But like, I don't know if he remembered me or not, okay? Mm-hmm. So we get to like this little, like, it's like a pub restaurant type of thing, right? Some of our coworkers are there, some of his friends are there. It's just like kind of a mix of just random people, right? Mm-hmm. So we're there. It's low-key all good vibes, whatever. And so he leaves at one point to go talk to like some other dude. So I'm talking to his friend, and we're kind of just like talking about whatever. Anyways, okay. By the end of the night, right, we're in the car, and it was chill. I mean, okay, actually, no, it was kind of a red flag. At one point during it, I'm not even gonna lie to you, there was a girl on his body. So I was like, damn, I got a little bit jealous, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do too much.
Right.
Hi, Jumper, how are you? But then, like, my face is very obvious. Like, I can't really hide it. But I was just chilling, like, I didn't say nothing because that's not my man. You feel me? So
right.
Then there ended up being people on my body, which he got jealous about. So that kind of became a thing as well. Now, we get into the car, and he's, like, finding music or something, whatever the case is. And I say something to his friend, but I'm like, I had typed it out. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. Because I know him, but I don't know if he remembers he knows me. And I type out, nah, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to call ISO on him. What do you think? Because this is his friend, too. Mm-hmm. And me and him, like, me and the friend are cool. But I want to know, like, because he seemed very honest. So he could be like, okay, yeah, go for it or don't, right? And I was like, all right, what do you think? He said, oh, I see it. I said, okay, but what do you think? He said, I think that's a terrible idea. I said, dang, that's a terrible idea.
That's hilarious.
And so it was, Huh?
That's hilarious. Continue.
No, right. So I was like, damn, that's like a horrible idea. Okay, so me now, I'm like, okay, oh, wait, do I trust this though? And at this point, he had been drinking a little bit. Like, I had one shot. He had probably way too many to count. So, like, the entire night, I kept feeding him water because I'm like, bro, you need to drink water. So, anyways, though, I thought he wasn't even going to pick up on that, but he definitely did. He was like, oh, wait, what are we talking about? What's the secret? And I actually did not tell him at that point because, like, it just topic switched, whatever. But later on, he texted me when he got home, and we were talking, and he said something. He was like, oh, yeah. Like, it was a red flag to me. He texted me saying, like, oh, I don't know the secret. It's killing me, but it's okay. I guess I'm fine with never knowing. But the way he was typing was so cryptic. It's like, I think that he knew. Like, the way he was wording it.
He knew what? Your pre-existing relationship with the other guy?
I mean, I didn't have a previous relationship
I
with
mean,
the
like,
other guy, but
you just knew him.
Like, I think that he knew that I was telling his friend, like, hey, I might call ISO on him. What do you
Got
think?
you. Okay. I got you.
Yes. And then we were talking, and he said something, and I'm like, did I get friend zoned? Because he said something. He was like, oh no, like, you're amazing. I'm so glad I met you. I was like, oh yeah, period. And then we were talking. He was like, yeah, we have so many great people there. I'm glad I made such an amazing friend as you. Like, it's hard for me to do that. And I was like, I don't know if that's a friend zone or not. I do not know. So that's my situation.
Okay, that's where you left it?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of times when people choose the friend angle, it's more like situationship territory. So it's possible that the guy who you knew previously talked with this guy and let him know that. And then if he doesn't want a relationship, then he tries to, preemptively put the friend label on you so that you don't pursue that with him. It's very possible. I can't be certain with that. The tactical error that you made here was just asking the friend to begin with. That's the you don't do that. And it's like, it reminds me of like some women who think that their boyfriend or husband's mother is on their side. I'm like, no, they're not. I don't care what they say. I can promise you they're not. So you keep confiding in that woman if you want to. That's not, he came from her. You'll never compete. So.
Right. So do you think it's bad that I asked the friend because like the friend would lie or what? Because I mean, I was not expecting that.
Well, that's his allegiance is going to be to the male friend. Especially if he has a closer relationship. This is just someone this is like an acquaintance of yours, but they're friends.
Right.
So it wouldn't make sense to think that he would say something negative about someone who's his friend. Like, think about it. You got to game theory this shit out, right? Game theory is essentially just like understanding human behavior or nature and then seeing how things are probably going to play out. So from his perspective, if he's an average intelligence, he's not going to position himself to be in a situation where he gives you bad information about his homeboy because you could potentially go back and tell his homeboy what he said. Now there's an issue there.
True.
And the only way he would actually risk that is if he wanted you. So in that situation, he's willing to risk that friendship in order to pursue you. But if that's his intention, then he's likely to lie to you because he's not motivated by telling you the truth. He's motivated by getting you to begin with. You see how there's no winning pathway in this situation?
Oh, damn. Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that.
Right. So that was a tactical.
So what do you think about him saying a terrible idea? Because that caught me off guard. I was like, wait. Like, which one do you think that would fall into?
I don't know. He probably knows Buddy, or he probably knows, or Buddy has already talked to him about you, and he knows that he's not serious. Like, how old are y'all?
I'm 19. He's 21.
19 and 21. I would say just the fact that he invites. So when you say Shorty was on his body specifically, what occurred?
You should say that again?
When you said Shorty was on his body at the party, like there was a girl on his body, like what was occurring?
Like, So first, he had walked up to talk to like this one like specific group of like different dudes like that worked with us. But then this girl had came over and she was just talking to him, and he was like she was over cheesing, hitting his shoulder, like you know how girls do when they're like overly flirting and overly going.
Right.
And then at the end she's like, okay, bye. And then she tried to give him a hug, and then he gave her like a side hug kind of, but it was like the whole vibe. You could peep it.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, when you said that he got jealous of you, what was going on your way?
Well, I mean, kind of the same thing, not gonna lie to you, because we work with these other two dudes who, like, he knows tries to flirt with me consistently, but I don't, like, entertain them. Like, I'll talk to them, but, like, not in a flirting manner. So, basically, two of the dudes that I worked with kind of came up to me, and at this point, like, he's on the opposite side of the table because we were all about to leave.
Right.
And there's, like, one coworker on my left and one coworker on my right, and they were both talking to me, and the one on the right was like, no, I need to get your number, like, whatever, I'm gonna make you mine, something like that, like just saying wild shit. But he was close enough where he could hear it, and he was just staring dead at me, like dead at me with like the most glaring type of look. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Got you. I will see how it plays out. I mean, because there's so many different ways it can go. He could have been, I would say that his behavior in that situation was a tale of some degree of interest. That doesn't mean that he has the capacity to be in a relationship, but that does at least mean that he's likely feeling you enough to where he's paying attention to you. And it could be that he is, because remember, this whole time you had to lead the interaction. So he's probably not somebody who initiates. He is probably attractive enough to where he's never been in a position to where he had to really pursue like that. So he likely plays a more passive role. And him calling, so that means that he likely is more of an indirect communicator instead of a direct communicator. Which then likely means that, I'm making a lot of logical leaps here, so just take this with a grain of salt. But which will likely mean that he may say something like call you a friend to get you to correct it.
Oh, really?
Okay, let me see where her mind is at. So I'm gonna call her a friend real quick and then see how she responds. Is she gonna say like, I didn't see us as friends? Again, that's just a possibility. It doesn't mean that's what's happening. But you'll get more, you'll increase in certainty as more time passes and y'all spend more time together. Because he ain't even tried nothing yet. He's not even, like, he just invited you to go to a party and he didn't even try to crack or anything like that. So that tells me that he likes your company. Again, doesn't mean that he's willing to be in a relationship, but it does mean that he enjoys you. And in our conversations, you got a good personality, so that's not even surprising. So it's like, just see how things play out over time. Don't try to like rush certainty. Just let it breathe, let it unfold.
Okay. Bet. Because I'm not gonna lie, me, like, my red flag, I'm not gonna lie. If I feel like I'm getting mixed signals, I will pull back. But I saw you today, like, literally right after this happened, because this happened last night at like 3 a.m. So, like, blessed up, coach. Like, I'm glad I caught you.
Right.
But yeah, I got work in a few hours too, so we're really gonna see how this plays out.
Okay, yeah, give it time. All right, follow up with me.
Will do. Thank you and have a blessed day.
You do the same, love. Bye. I had like a lot of women callers over the past couple of days. Feel like I'm going where? What's the Hodge? I'm not familiar. Sounds like a cultural thing. That's not a pencil sharpener. That's the holder for, or like a Muslim right now. Okay, gotcha. I don't have any Muslims in my network, so I don't know the terms. Had some Muslim women I shot at though. Hey. I like bacon too much though. It's not gonna work. Would never work. Would never work. Okay, no more callers. I can't take any more callers right now. But you can drop your question in the chat if you have one, and I'll answer it there before I dip out. Muslim women are beautiful. Are they? I mean, as I said that, I'm like, I was going through the different like faiths, and I'm like, well, they kind of all faiths have some hitters. The most dangerous ones are the spiritual girlies. I don't like that. I don't like that. They're dangerous. Hell no. Feel like I'm falling into the King Solomon trap. Why would my ex come back? Probably for access. Probably wants to sleep with you again, if I had to guess. But it could also be, depends on the context. Like, sometimes exes come back for like genuine reasons. Maybe they've learned from their mistakes. You know? Do you like older women? I don't really, the age is not important. Do you look good? Do you look nice? Do you got that thing on you? Got them cheeks back there, huh? Proportional. I don't really need the Cardi B action. I'll take a little Debbie. But it gotta be, you know, gotta be proportional. What do you think the benefits are meeting a person after talking to them for 2 weeks? Yeah, I don't know. Like, whenever I'm trying to date someone, I try to get to the physical date like as soon as possible. Because people don't understand. I study attraction and stuff like that. So I'm knowledgeable, like pheromones. Like, you got to have an embodied experience with the person before you make any decisions. Before you make any decisions, you have to have an embodied experience. So you could talk to someone for 2 weeks, think y'all vibe, get in person, and it's like, nah, I'm good. So the most data is going to be communicated in person. And I don't really see the need to talk for weeks before you actually meet in person. It doesn't really make much sense to me. Should I try to rebuild a relationship with my ex, even if he's talking to other women? No. What should we do to attract a confident man? Maximize your aesthetics, for one, and be confident yourself, too. But I would have to know about you specifically, like what your energy is like, because there could be something you're doing to decrease the likelihood that the connection progresses. Like, my question would be, why are the men who you're attracting not confident? What does confidence look like to you? Praying the in-person dynamic good in Dallas? I'm sure it will be. Sure it will be. As long as y'all don't get socially awkward. Also, we're going to Dallas, people, August 14th through the 17th. I got one person to follow up with today about payment, but if she does not pay, then we'll have to give that slot to somebody else. So if we do have some slots that are open, we have 2 slots right now. So we have a guaranteed 1 slot and a potential 2nd slot. $300 per person in order to be in the Airbnb. You don't have to be in the Airbnb. You can get a hotel if you would like. Or if you're just in Dallas, you can come through. Not the Airbnb though. If you get a hotel or something like that, you can't come to the Airbnb because they'll kick us out.
Hey, what's up?
I said no more calls. We're letting people up to call in. What's up, bro?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on the Dallas stuff. I wanted to add we found a spot for our get together on Saturday. We're gonna get together at Backyard Dallas. It's a bit of a barcade brunch spot, so we're gonna get together there like 11:30ish. For anyone that's interested in local.
Yeah, I told Danny I'm a big fan of barcades. It's my #1 dating spot. So I would like to meet up at a barcade, have a good time, beat somebody at some pool, you feel me? Put some money on it, put some bread on it real quick. See what y'all talking about. But, so, again, I like to play catch or go bike riding. Not in that heat. Hot as hell in Dallas. You on your own. But yeah, if you're trying to come through, you can meet up with us Saturday at that spot. If you would like to actually stay in the Airbnb, remember $300 is your portion. Me and Danny independently put $1,000 on the house to make it cheaper for everybody else. So your portion would be $300 to stay in the Airbnb. So if you're interested in that, you must be following Danny, and you also have to message Danny. I don't know, who's that? Okay, I thought I knew somebody. Manisa, you should definitely come out to Dallas. You know, I know you're new here probably, but if you're in the Dallas area, you should definitely pop out. But yeah, $300 will be the price. So again, if you're interested, message Danny, follow Danny. He'll send you a form. You got to fill out the form because we got to check the vibe. We got to make sure the vibe is good. Okay, we don't need any kind of weird vibes there. So we got to vet the people who are interested in coming, but it should be a great time. 11:30 a.m. is early. It is early, but I trust Danny. Danny and Kiana, fantastic combination. Fantastic combination.
Hannah wanted us to do a brunch, so part of the logic is this is a brunch spot / barcade, so we'll probably get there a little earlier to do our get together and then plan that so other people can meet us, and that gives us the rest of the day to do whatever, and the evening for a little, hot tub action.
Exactly. Did you all book your flights already? Yeah, I booked my flight like damn near a month ago.
Yeah, we'll just get it done earlier in the day before it gets too hot.
Right. Yeah, because it's supposed to be.
I'm not trying to air fry that weekend.
Exactly. So again, if you would like to come, if you just want to come, you don't have to message Danny or follow Danny. You could just get your own accommodations and then come out with us and have a good time. But if you would like to stay in the Airbnb, you would need to message Danny, follow Danny. He'll send you a form. Fill out the form. So many people have messaged Danny. They did half of it. 75% of the way there. They don't fill out the form. You got to fill out the form because very important questions in the form. And then, have that bread ready. People tend to drop like flies by the time they make that payment. They're all excited about the idea. Oh, I can't wait. As soon as you're like, all right, so about that money on though. Oh, well, times have been hard, right? But you knew times were hard before I told you this.
Yeah, they're hoping we trick out on them, All
right, that's not happening.
That's the game plan.
We kind of already have.
Yeah, that's true. You and I have.
This would be a lot more expensive for you if we didn't make the investment that we did. So it's like we kind of already tricking a little bit, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really put it on the table.
I feel owed something, huh? At least a little twerk.
I feel you there.
At least a little twerk. I'm owed something. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. But if we can't make it, we're gonna do probably 1 to 2 of these per year. We're still determining where we're gonna take the next one. It'll probably be Chicago or Toronto. Where else did we say, Danny? Potentially Florida.
Worldwide. We'll be everywhere.
We're definitely gonna be worldwide.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
yeah, especially once my content starts to pick up, I start to get that check. We're gonna do some more traveling for sure.
Yeah, it'll be a mutual it'll be a merging of brands at that point. So, you said Puerto Rico? Yeah, Lindsay said Puerto Rico. Well, Lindsay, you got some connection in Puerto Rico? You Puerto Rican? I got a friend who asked, he's not very cultured, he asked every woman who is Lindsay's complexion if they're Puerto Rican? No, she's not Puerto Rican. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Get it together.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we could do Puerto Rico as well. It don't really matter to me. I'm just trying to get out of North Carolina.
Yeah. North Carolina's a great place to live.
Right.
But if you're looking for excitement and novelty, it's a very safety-heavy place. It's not a spark-heavy place to live. So
right.
I feel the wanderlust as well.
Exactly.
I'm excited to get out, see the world a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to make it happen, man. We're going to take this group worldwide. So, spread the word. If there's any place that y'all want us to hit, especially if I have a bigger presence there, because I have no idea where my followers are from. So,
yeah,
let me know.
Let us know. Hit us up. I'll probably do some soft planning for other trips in the future. That way it's a little more organized, and we get the best prices and stuff.
Sounds like a plan, man. Anyway, people, I gotta run. I have calls coming up, but if you don't want to miss one of these lives, I stream them on YouTube. YouTube channel is in the bio. It's at The Signal Dating. Again, if you want coaching, you can DM me the word coach. I will send you a link to book your 1 hour coaching call, solve whatever issue you're going through. And if you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if I didn't get to your question, I will get to it then. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. Y'all take care, man.